Hello and welcome to the County Chat channel. This is going to be a channel dedicated to the County Championship and all the great cricket content that comes with it. To begin with, here on the County Chat, we're going to be previewing every single team going into the 2025 season. Starting with Division 2, we'll be going from the worst team in Derbyshire from last year all the way up through to the relegated teams in Division 1 from last year. We'll be previewing each team, their weaknesses, maybe their strengths, and just how they're looking before the 2025 season. And then after I get through all of that, we'll be going on to Division 1. The season starts tomorrow as of recording this, so get excited, and I hope you can enjoy these previews here on the County Chat channel. We'll be doing Derbyshire. Derbyshire are finished dead last year in the County Championship Division 2, so they are the first team that we will be doing for 2025. That is the beauty of coming last. The only silver lining is in the County Chat previews you come first. So Derbyshire, the Derbyshire Falcons, apparently named that because of the peregrine falcon that nests in Derby Cathedral. As I say, the winners of last year's Wooden Spoon, and therefore they'll have that honour of being the first preview that we do. The first thing I wrote when I was thinking about this team is that there is a simplicity in finishing last in first-class cricket in England, as you don't get relegated. So there's kind of there's no negative in many ways. You kind of just finish at the bottom. It's embarrassing, the wooden spoon, etc. But you're not having to acclimatise to a new division like you would in football, rugby, or any other similar sport. You kind of just stagnate where you are. So the case is there's only one way is up. And this year, Derbyshire are going in a new way in their captaincy and their leadership. Wayne Madsen, the absolute club legend, will be taking over from David Lloyd, who was the captain during that aforementioned Wooden Spoon campaign. Derbyshire had, even for a last place team, a particularly bad season last year. They won only one game, and in a season of 14 games finished the equivalent of 2 losses adrift. They finished 32 points of second to last. It's a large deficit to fall to, I guess you would say. So it's time to dig in. What went wrong, and how they're looking for 2025 in improving that. To me, simply put, the most notable weakness for Derbyshire was their bowling. Derbyshire struggled to bowl teams out, and in one innings, let alone 2, to get wins, and that is the aim of the game when it comes to any sport. But you need to take 20 wickets in first-class red ball cricket. So Zach Chappell was the kind of leader of their attack, finishing with 31 wickets. He was the only one even close to 30 wickets. As I looked at their bowling statistics, all of the bowling averages were well above 30. And as in my book, around 30 would be suggesting you're kind of holding your own at first class level. You're doing well. You're not doing brilliantly, but it's a sort of solid performance threshold, if you will. Going forward, they'll need some serious upticks in bowling performance in their seam bowling department. Young bowlers like Pat Brown and Nick Potts and Ben Aitchison all featured last year, but to no great avail. So all of them, they all have promise. They all can bowl at a decent clip, like most, first-class bowlers can. But they'll need a lot more quality and skill to sort of re-up that fast bowling unit alongside Zach Chappell, who is just a very solid operator, very solid first-class cricketer. Good with the bat as well, Zach Chappell. And a moment of real promise, though, was the debut of the young Harry Moore, 17-year-old. He showed some real promise. He took 6 wickets at an average of 23 in the games he played. You could say they'll be looking for more out of Harry Moore. He's a young, quick, and he shows a lot of promise. So I think it's a nice place to be in, where you can play a lot of players like him and the other young players that as I mentioned. In the spin bowling department, I think the Falcons will be looking towards Jack Morley, the youngster. He's averages towards 30 with the ball, that aforementioned mark, as I said. He's a 23-year-old. He's a very good left-arm spinner. He's done very well in his young career, and I think he'll be looking for a maybe more consistent spot in their team. And to do so, he'll have to get Alex Thompson out of the team, really. Last year, he took 24 wickets. He was their second highest wicket taker. But 12 of those came in an early season game against Glamorgan. He took a brilliant 7-for and then followed it with a 5-for. So, took 12 of 24 wickets, which is, always a weird sort of nuance of cricket, I guess. He'll be looking to sort of have a more consistent long season to keep Jack Morley out of the team, or for them to play alongside each other. Because again, Alex Thompson is another bowler who can wield the bat a bit. But yeah, the sort of strength, I'd say, of Derbyshire, or I guess strength if you want to call it that, from 2024, is their all-rounders. As I say, David Lloyd, their old former captain, he struggled a lot with ball and bat last year, so he'll hoping sort of without the captain duties he'll be able to do a lot more. Lewis Rees, also a kind of stalwart of Derbyshire's teams over the last 5 to 6 years, and he's bowled some very solid left arm medium whilst opening the batting, and he had he had a pretty good season last year, so he'll be looking to kind of continue on with that. And Anuj Dahl, and again a Derbyshire sort of player, he's played for them for a while, and he's really a talented player, but without any big seasons to back it up. So again, he'll be looking to have a big season for himself. And loan signing Martin Anderson from Middlesex. He came over from Middlesex on a permanent after this summer. He'd been done a few loans from Middlesex to Derbyshire, and yeah, he'll be looking to really stamp his authority as a really good bowling all-rounder for this side. But in a positive sense, they've all taken wickets against Oxford UCCE in their pre-season game, especially David Lloyd, who bowled them to victory, actually taking a 5-wicket haul. So yeah, that'll be a big place for them. They'll be looking to take some more wickets and looking for more, just more production out of those players. So yeah, and now to their batting. We go to the other phase of the game. It's not a lot better. I'm going to be honest. It's a tough look for Derbyshire after 2024, and I guess that's always the case when you finish rock bottom of any league. But Wayne Madsen scored 1,000 runs. So it's the 7th time in county cricket he's actually gone past 1,000 runs, which is quite an impressive achievement. He is one of Derbyshire's greatest ever players. And again, yeah, if you think they finished dead last, quite far adrift, having had a batter with 1,000 runs. So if they hadn't have had him, or he hadn't have performed to his usual standards, it would have been really, really quite a tough watch, I think, for Derbyshire a lot of last year. They also had Brooke Guest and Lewis Rees, who were quite substantially worse. I mean, they both had okay seasons, scoring 638 runs for Lewis Rees did at 30, and Brooke Guest the other way around. 588 runs for Lewis Rees at 29, and Brooke Guest scored 638 runs at 30. So kind of similar-ish seasons, but they were the closest to Wayne Madsen, who scored this above 1,000-run season at an average over 50. So yeah, they'll be looking for sort of slight upticks and getting closer to those 1,750, 800-run marks to really bolster this batting lineup. And yeah, David Lloyd, who I mentioned obviously in the bowling, he's a batting all-rounder really. He had a really tough season, didn't really get anywhere, didn't even get to 500 runs last year, so he'll be looking to return to form after a lean 2024. Anuryn Donald, who's a very talented cricketer, who's always sort of looked good. He again had a pretty tough season, 500 runs at 25, so he'll be looking to get back into that lineup and really solidify his place. And talented top-order batter Harry Kane. I've always been a big fan of his. He's been an opener and a bats number 3 a lot. He's just scored 100 against Oxford at UCCE. Again, it's a university side, so you always have to take it a little bit of a pinch of salt, but he will be looking for a big season, and I think he's got the talent to do it and the batting, wherewithal to do it after sort of, again, like most players, a slightly tough season last year. So anyway, the overseas arrivals, I feel like, are a big deal for any struggling team. I'm a Sussex fan. I remember when we really struggled and we got Chestrada Pujara in. Probably butchered the first name there, but it can be a real, beacon of hope. For Sussex, it was this Indian great were coming to play. But yeah, to continue, and I hate to be continuing on the sort of downwards look at it, but I don't think these overseas signings this year are good enough really to overturn how bad Derbyshire were last year. So their batter they've got a batter and a bowler really simply. They've got Caleb Jewlin. He's a Tasmanian left-hander. He's an exceptionally good white ball player, and he'll be on all format deal, so he'll be looking very good for them, I'm sure, across the formats. But his career record isn't brilliant in red ball cricket. He's across 47 Sheffield Shield matches. He averages just 30, only just over 30, with 6 centuries over those seasons. As I say, he's got plenty of talent. He's plenty good enough to really make his mark on this Derbyshire team and the Division 2 run scoring tables if he does stay the whole season. But it is one of those players where I think he might not be quite enough for to turn around their sort of season. And as I said, I think the bowling is a bigger deal for Derbyshire. I think that's where they struggle more. And their overseas, the returning from 2025 is Blair Tickner. He had a shorter season last year, had to return home for some family matters. But but he will be here for the most of the season for Derbyshire. But again, he's a really quick bowler, has a lot of talent, has played for New Zealand internationally, but he's 31 with a lot of career behind him, and he does average over 35 with the ball in cricket, in red ball cricket, with in over 80 first-class matches. So it's not a small sample size or anything. He has just got... so he'll need to, perform well above them. And again, Division 2 of County Championship can be quite a good place to improve your, and I'm sure Caleb Jewell will think the same way, a good place to improve your averages. But again, I just don't know if he can lead what is a struggling bowling lineup to another level, I guess. So yeah, to round up with Derbyshire, I feel like I've been very negative. I feel like I've given a lot of negative stuff for Derbyshire. But I think they will be better than they were in 2024. I think 2024 was a rock bottom moment for the county. I think they can't get much worse, and I think they've got a few. The overseas signing, as I said, they're not great, but they are probably more, than they got last year from their overseas signings. So yeah, but I think Derbyshire will go as far as their bowling takes them. I think that is usually the way with teams who aren't very good, and maybe just teams in general in red ball cricket. You've got to take 20 wickets to win a game, and that is not easy in any format of cricket, especially 4-day. But they do have a very good coach. They've got Mickey Arthur, the ex-Pakistan coach, so he's got plenty of experience and plenty of skills. He can help develop some of the younger players in the team, and just general positive performance to all players really. But lastly, as I realise, again, all this negativity, I need a bit of positivity maybe for you Derbyshire fans out there, or just, people who want to see Derbyshire do a bit better, which I am one person included in that, is that Wayne Madsen, in his previous stint as captain, in his first season, got Derbyshire promoted from Division 2. The last time they were promoted, it was in 2012, and Wayne Madsen's runs and leadership were a big key for that team. So again, they'll look for similar with that, with Wayne Madsen right at the front, leading the charge and hoping for another massive season with the runs, because otherwise they will be looking, they'll be in strife, I think, simply put. So he will be looking for a big season. I've got a predicted lineup here, just a bit of how they might look throughout the season, because it's always easier to maybe think about. So I thought Caleb Jewell and Lewis Rees will probably open the batting, with Harry Kane moving out of that opening slot into number 3. As the aforementioned great Wayne Madsen will be captaining and batting at 4, I reckon. Brooke Guest likely to be their wicketkeeper and batting at 5, because he's one of their better batters. David Lloyd, as I said, all-rounder, put him in at 6, I reckon. I think Anuj Dahl, Martin Anderson will be about 7 and 8. I don't know who they'll bat higher up, probably, but it's hard to say. Zach Chappell, as I said, in at 9, and Alex Thompson in at 10. Both sort of bowlers who can bat with a bit of talent. And then the fast bowler from New Zealand, Blair Tickner. So that's my kind of roundup for Derbyshire. The first team we'll be doing here in the County Chat Division 2 previews. I hope you enjoyed. Stay tuned for the next few roundups.